Hello everyone and welcome to another Pokemon Pocket video. Today we've got a very special one. We're going to be looking at the trailer and some of the new cards from the mini set that's just been announced, Mythical Island. I cannot wait for this set to come out, especially based on some of the cards that we've seen so far. But what we will do is take a look at the trailer very quickly first and then we'll break it down. So let's take a little look-see here. I have already seen this, but I'm happy to watch it again. Amazing artwork, potentially, giving us a peek of some immersives. But there it is, Mythical Island. One pack, it looks like it's going to be one single pack, not three, not two, not five. Makes sense. Got a sneak peek of some cards there, and look at this. That's huge. Let's just take a freeze just for a second here to have a quick look. Mew EX, 130 HP Psychic Pokemon, a 1 cost, 1 Psychic cost, 20 damage size shot. It also has a retreat of 1, should I say, as well. And then look at this ability, Genome Hacking, 3 colorless, which means you can put this in pretty much just any deck without having to worry about Psychic Energy, really. Choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. Huge. This could be really strong to just sit on your bench and get ready, and beef it up a little bit maybe, and then get ready to respond to some of these big attacks. Think about like Venusaur's attack with heal, deal 100, heal 30. Sounds good to me. There's tons of other attacks that can be used. It's actually just such a crazy card. I can't even think about every single possibility. However, the only question I have, and I honestly don't know the answer to this, is could this use Charizard's attack or Ninetales' attack if it discards fire energy? I don't know if the requirement of discarding fire energy would mean it wouldn't work if there's no fire energy on Mew to discard. I actually don't know how that will work. Maybe some of you in the comments know how it works, but not me. So yeah, this one's really huge. I know people are already talking about, well, it's another strong Psychic card, but I'm assuming we're going to get a lot of strong cards for all the types, so I think this is fine. The big interest for me is, does this just get splashed in whatever deck you want because it's 3 colorless and you just have that in your back pocket if you need to use it? Who knows? Regardless, a very exciting card. Next up, Aerodactyl EX. It evolves from Old Amber, so you will need that fossil, of course. But it's 140 health fighting type Pokemon with an ability, Primeval Law. Your opponent can't play any Pokemon from their hand to evolve their active Pokemon. So a couple of factors here. Yes, it is only affecting your opponent's active. A lot of the time evolves happen on the bench, that's fine. However, this will help the likes of Pokemon with Sleep, Poison, Paralyze, and so on. You can't evolve out of it because you can't evolve your active Pokemon. Also, very important, this appears to work from bench. So if you have this Aerodactyl EX on the bench, this ability is active as far as I can tell, because it doesn't read like Gengar's, for example, which requires it to be in the active spot. Then it also has a 2 cost, 1 fighting, 1 colorless Land Crush for 80, a pretty reasonable amount of damage for 2 energy. And again, 1 colorless, 1 fighting means you can splash fighting to play this card if you want to. And there's maybe even some worlds where this card could be in your deck without the without fighting whatsoever if you just want it for its ability. Very exciting. Can lock out some of those openings where you have to start evolving on your Pokemon that you've got in the active spot. And because it's only stage 1, it's not going to be super difficult to get to. However, it does have a weakness of it evolves from a fossil, so you can't Pokeball this, you can't get it from your automatic 1 basic at the start. However, very strong, and with a 1 retreat cost to boot, so not too bad at all. Another very exciting one. I will try and pause it on some of these other cards as well, but it's kind of hard. We'll get to it in a minute. So there's these I want to briefly talk about. Blue, and we will have Leaf in a second, but Blue is going to be a new supporter. Red isn't in this trailer. I hope they've got Red in this game. I would love it. But we have Blue, which is a supporter. During your opponent's next turn, all of your Pokemon take -10 damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. So this is pretty good. It's like reverse Giovanni, except it's like an AoE spread. So if they Sabrina something, and you have to swap Pokemon, well, that Pokemon still takes -10, which is really good. And I think of all the times where Giovanni will knock out Pokemon, and if you reverse engineer and think of all the times where your opponent has like the exact amount of damage needed to knock your Pokemon out, Blue can stop that. It also, I believe, would stop the damage on the bench from an Articuno swing, but not things like Greninja or poison effects, because they are not effects from attacks themselves. So very, very cool card. Another one I quickly want to, well, another couple, I guess, on this screen. We have the Execute, which is a new one with Growth Spurt. One colorless, take a leaf energy from your energy zone and attach it to this Pokemon. This leads us to believe there's going to be a new Executor, which is potentially very energy hungry. So this could be quite good as well. Just a little bit of ramp earlier on. It also could be quite good that this Execute can give itself one energy for the current Executor EX, which means you've got one more energy to put on another Pokemon, say on your bench or whatever. So this could, even if it's the new Executor, which I assume is going to be here as well, even if that isn't that good or you don't end up wanting to play it, this still has work with normal Executor because it basically just gives itself the energy it needs to attack, whether it's the EX or the regular one. Also, this one I want to point your eyes to. This is a new Taurus, 100 HP normal. It has 2 retreat cost. This is a 3 energy attack, 3 colorless energy. Fighting Tackle. It does 40 damage, but if your opponent's active Pokemon is an EX, it does 80 more. This will do 120 damage to an EX Pokemon. This is quite strong. 100 HP, it's basic, it's normal, it can be put in any deck, no problem. And yes, the attack requires 3 energy, but you also can have the knowledge that if your opponent doesn't look like they're playing an EX deck, you don't have to give it any energy and it can just be a tank, right? So there is that flexibility. But if they are playing, think of Pika EX, Zapdos EX with a Giovanni, obviously. Like, even Mewtwo, doing 120 to Mewtwo with a normal is kind of big, right? So this Pokemon I am very, very, very excited by. As we move... Oh! I need to go back. Sorry, I'll try and do that again. Apologies, I should have skipped the frames, but I missed it. So there we go. So the next one, and this is arguably one of the most powerful cards I've seen in the trailer, Leaf. Another supporter. During this turn, the retreat cost of your active Pokemon is 2 less. Huge. We can look at cards that have big retreat sort of problems, like Kangaskhan, maybe Weezing, but you have Koga for that. But any of the big ones like Blastoise can sometimes be annoying. Gengar EX can be a bit annoying. Snorlax, for those of you who love Snorlax, suddenly you can play Snorlax tanks and have Leaf to make it easier to pull them back. That can be big. Leaf, I think, is going to be, just from the cards I've seen, Leaf's going to be played, put it that way. It's going to be a lot, and like I said, I hope we're going to get red. We do have a new Magmar as well, which is deal 80, discard 2 fire energy, so it's a bit of a commitment. All he needs a Moltres. However, this Magmar will be able to be blaned for a ton of extra damage as well, so it's another sort of high damage output blane target, which is potentially going to be useful. We'll see. And now we have this. I missed it again. I'm very sorry. We'll play it again. I need to get better at this. Sorry, guys. There we go. So, there we go. That'll do. So, Marshadow, maybe the Pokemon one of the Pokemon I'm most excited about. Basic fighting type, 80 health, which is a lot. A good amount, let's say. And it has 1 retreat cost, so very flexible. Revenge, 1 fighting, 1 colorless, another splash opportunity. It deals 40 damage. However, if any of your Pokemon were knocked out by damage from an attack during your opponent's last turn, this attack does 60 more. So if your opponent knocks something out, you can pull this in, bang, 100 damage. And also bear in mind something quite important, it's fighting type. This will, if a Pikachu knocks something out of yours and you have this on your bench, you just knock out the Pikachu in return. So it is incredibly strong. I think this is such a cool card, and again, is showing that already, even with the first mini set of the game, that they are very like go, go, go with new interactions, new ways to play the game. Like, oh, well, do I want to knock this out? Because I can see the Marshadow just on the bench. Can I take 100 hit from Marshadow? Maybe you can't. Maybe you have to delay. Maybe you have to wait for Sabrina to try and get another target. There's a lot going on. Maybe you have to use poison, because that won't be attack damage, or burn, for example, if that comes out, because that won't be attack damage. That'll be damage from a status effect. So really, really, really cool card, I think, and also lovely full art. Of course, there's a lot of full art so far been shown. Really cool card. Again, very, very excited to check this out as a basic Pokemon. No evolving required. You just need that one fighting energy, plus one extra if anything, and you are good to go. Yeah. Really excited, and I think this flip will show a few more things. Yeah, there's the Magmar 1880. Delmise is there, Snive is there as well, so we are going to get that line at least. Larvest is there, so we're getting that evolutionary line. Morlul, of course, as well. So I'm just excited. We have a quick look at Delmise, actually. It's basically Lapras for grass. So if this Pokemon has at least 3 extra grass energy attached, this attack does 70 more damage. So again, especially if you're looking at, for example, like Lilligant, this could ramp this to just start hitting for 90, which is pretty decent. And again, basic Pokemon, so no real setup from you required other than having it. So it gives grass a nice option, because at the moment, grass does kind of feel like it's just Executor or Venusaur, and a lot of types are kind of like that right now. But Delmise might be a nice little addition. And yeah, I think, yep, that's it for the trailer. There you go. Tuesday, December 17th. Now, there are more cards to check out, which I do want to show you. But yeah, 17th of December, I will be streaming all day on that day. We'll be opening as many packs as I can humanly afford. I want these full arts. I want all the cards to mess around with. But we are going to check out some extra cards that have been shown as well. Okay, here is probably the craziest card. One, fantastic artwork here that we see. Again, I mean, the artwork in this game is amazing anyway, but Vaporeon, it's not an EX, it's just a normal, the regular or non-EX, I guess. 120 health. It's 3 cost Wave Splash to deal 60, which obviously is not a very strong attack, although, again, splashable, let's say. Although we'll get to why that may not matter in a minute. 2 retreat cost, weak to electric, of course, but the ability is where it's at. Washout. As often as you like, during your turn, you may move a water energy from one of your bench Pokemon, bench water Pokemon, sorry, to your active water Pokemon. And the way I read this, because it says as often as you like, you can just funnel all your energy off your bench, as long as it's from water energy on water Pokemon, to your active water Pokemon. So the likes of Blastoise, you could have put water on all sorts of Pokemon. Blastoise goes in, and then your whole bench, as long as you have a Vaporeon on it, can start juicing the Blastoise and get it going. There's tons of stuff. This makes even things like retreating Starmie, and then you can give Starmie EX the energy to something else, and so on. This just looks incredible, and this is what I wanted from the sets going forward. More cool abilities. We've seen the Aerodactyl EX ability. Now we've seen this Vaporeon one. Really interesting abilities that make you have to think about the game a little bit differently. Next up as well, we have another star of the show, Dedenne. This might look not great. I think it's amazing though. Basic 60 HP electric rodent. We have seen a few of those, I think. 1 cost electric energy, thunder shock to deal 10 damage. But it's flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. Now, this might look like a small throwaway Pokemon. Dedenne doesn't evolve or anything like that. However, what I will say is, in decks where you want these basics, Pikachu EX, for example, or even just have a good opener, this is very strong to me because one, a 1 cost paralyzed chance is very good, and you are dealing damage, which is only 10, but it's still good. But then you think about this, what dominates the game right now? Okay, well, there's Mewtwo, which we'll talk about another time, but the 3 legendary birds are pretty dominant in the game right now. Dedenne, like, kind of deals with them all as a starter, right? If they start Moltres, you're dealing 30 to them for 1 energy. And if you paralyze even just once, that's a massive delay on the dance to be able to ramp up. So that's huge. You're against Articuno, again, dealing 30. If you paralyze them, they maybe can't hit you with attacks, which is going to buy you time. And normally against Articuno, you just want time to build up your thing and get him. Because Articuno's, I think, pretty weak if your opponent can, like, sustain. And then finally, obviously, let's say the mirror match, if you start Dedenne into Zapdos, that's pretty good because you're chipping again 30, 30, 30 away at a Zapdos. A Zapdos can't really take out Dedenne either because that's like 3 attacks. Um, and all the while, if you paralyze it, can't retreat, can't attack, another 30 next turn, another 30, and it's just costing you an investment of 1 energy, which I think is very, very strong. So even Pokemon like this is huge. I did see in the trailer as well, I think there's basically a normal version of Pika EX. I think it's like 60 HP basic Pikachu, and it does, I think, 10 damage and then plus a certain amount of damage for each Pokemon, electric Pokemon you bench. But I've not seen the full picture of that, so I don't want to make too many judgments yet. We saw some of these as well, and there's a few more ones you can maybe check out in the trailer, but I'll leave that one up to you. But regardless, absolutely fantastic. The trailer was amazing. I cannot wait to get these new cards, shake up the meta a little bit. We've not even seen all the cards yet, or all the supporter cards. Things are going to change, and I cannot wait. And like I said, I'll be streaming all day on Tuesday, the 17th. As soon as it's out, I'll be live. We'll be playing and testing absolutely everything and opening a crap ton of packs. So make sure to tune in. That's going to be it, though. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. I appreciate it. Hope you have a great day. See you next time.